everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin', and back here in my craft room, my happy place. Today we're going to make a card like the ones you see in front of me. This is the same style of card done in two different ways. This was my first one, and as you can see I used a stamp set called, it's called In the Moment. This is the stamp set that I used, and I used the girl standing at the pier, or what looks like a pier. And as you look at this, you can see that you can color in and make it whatever you want it to be. And I used this sentiment on this one. And what this card does, it allows you to do an easel card that will very beautifully sit up on your desk or your mantle. You know, we like to call these. And you see the mechanism? It's a floating mechanism that allows this to sit on the peak without it falling off, and it has a mechanism that allows it to flutter back and forth. So I'm going to call this a Flutter gateway card because it is a gatefold, just folded in the opposite direction. And let me show you the other one that I did. When you open it, you could put designer series paper here if you like, that would dress it up a little bit more, but I left a place here for a sentiment, and I put a little stopper here so that when you do set it up it would stay. And of course if you're sitting it up, it works the same way, and you got that beautiful little V right there. Just a beautiful card design. And this is the second one that I made, and I didn't complete the inside of this one. I got so excited and I wanted to hurry up and record this while everything was fresh in my brain. But this one also has a stopper, and look how gorgeous that is. And it sits like this, and of course your little mechanism holds this right in the front, just like that. Isn't that a beautiful card? I think I love an interactive card, and I used the Cheerful Daisies and the Darling Details was the two that I used to create this card, along with some other paper. We're going to do something very similar to this, but it's going to be different. I'm not going to use the Darling Details. I'm going to make it a much sleeker, slimline, easier to put together card. But this will work for any card base that you have. You just take your mat and adhere it with the little mechanism pieces that I'll show you how to make, and you can use anything here for your strip. And what I did is I used the Darling Detail little border punch, and I cut a 2-inch strip of paper. I cut it on both sides, and then I cut a 1/2 inch strip and put it in the middle to make it look like this beautiful little design. And as you can see, I have not put anything here or here yet, but I will, because I love this. And I made it a birthday card because it just looked festive, like a birthday card, like a pretty little package. So let's go ahead and get started with what supplies we're going to need to make this with. Like I said, the stars of the show for that one was the Darling Detail and the Cheerful Daisies. I'm not going to use that on the next card. I'm going to take a design that I played with the other day, and I made this cute little Hey Chuck card. We're going to make this front panel to go on our card. So I thought it'd be so cute to do it in these same colors. This is Orchid Oasis, and I put a black background around it. So let's go ahead and stamp our images first. Now, the Artistic Mix Decorative Mask, these are in the new catalog, and I'm going to use the one that looks like chicken wire. Why wouldn't I? We're doing Hey Chuck. And isn't that pretty? I know you can't see it on that background, but this has that sort of chicken fence look to it, and I think it's going to be really cute. We're going to do this to make that background, and we're going to use that Orchid Oasis because I love that color against the beautiful dark colors of the little rooster here. So let me grab out some scraps of white paper. And I am going to use a heavy, basic white thick. I like that for any time I'm doing my cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down in half because I'm going to use that other border for my actual card. So I'm going to cut that at 4. And we're going to use this piece. Actually, I think I can cut 3. Let's see. This is 4.5. Yeah, let's cut 3 inches this way. I don't know, maybe I need a little bit more. Let me measure. When I was making this one, I did no measurements. I just cut, and that piece is 3 by 4. So yeah, we're gonna do a 3 by 4. So 3 inches. And then we're gonna turn this and make sure we have 4 going in this direction. And that's plenty big enough for our little mask area that we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this mask over top of this piece, something like that. And I'm going to use my magnets because I have these magnets that hold things down for me. And I figure, why not use them? You know, that's what they're there for. And if you notice, I don't come up very high with this. I do need one more magnet. Let's see if one off of let's see if this will work. And it does. So I may have to move this one around a little bit. Oops, I don't want them to kiss. That's not a good thing. But we're going to get our Orchid Oasis, and let me grab a blue blending brush. And there's my blue blending brush along with my my mask and my paper, and everything's adhered down pretty well. So I am going to tap, tap, tap. We do need some scrap paper to tap off on. So I'm going to, pretty good. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just making little small circles. And you want to be light. You know, if you hold your brush out here further, you have a much lighter touch to it, and that's what I want to do. I don't want this to be heavy. I just want a nice little wash of color. Again, tap. And just keep going like this until you get the amount of coverage that you so desire. And I want it to be, you know, much heavier in the middle, lighter as it comes out. I am going to move this one so I can get up here a little bit. Oh, and it did move. My paper moved. Oh, let's see if we can adjust it back. Keeps moving on me. You know why? I took the magnet off of the, sometimes I think you might be better with washi tape. Let's see if we can get this line back up. Actually, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to leave it like this and just come up here with a little bit of blue, a little bit of blue right there. I think that's good. And you know, you're never going to do 2 of these that look the same. So, you know, never try to replicate. I mean, look, it's the same, but it's different. So it doesn't matter. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to lay this over because I want to make sure I wipe that off. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and clean it now. I like to clean these using my alcohol wipes that I make because they take the ink all off in one swipe, and just an easy cleanup. And then you can just let this air dry, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I bring my wipe up after I do this. Get them mixed up. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is I need to stamp my little chicken. So I'm going to use the other piece of that cardstock, and we're going to get Hey Chuck. And I keep calling it a chicken, but it's really a rooster. So it's the big fat one in here, and he's so cute. I think he's just adorable. And I'm going to put him down in this direction. We're going to stamp him in some Memento Tuxedo Black because I am going to do alcohol blending on this one. And I want to make sure that we've got him, you know, well stamped so that with a good ink that will take the alcohol markers without moving. And that's what Memento is. It's a good dye-base ink. And if you use the pigment ink, the alcohol markers would move it. So your VersaFine would would not be an ink you'd want to use with your markers, because you're definitely going to get some bleed. All right, so we're going to press him down right there, and I'm going to give him a good press. And there's my little rooster, and he is so stinking cute. He'll be a lot cuter than that once we get some colors on him. So I'm going to set that stamp over there because I got some others I need to clean. And I'm going to grab maybe a pumpkin pie, a Cajun craze, real red, and how about a dark daffodil delight. So these are the ink colors that I've chosen, and this is Calypso, no, I'm sorry, this is Cajun Craze. And you know, I think some of my markers have gotten a little screwy on me. Let's see if we can get that one out. And this does happen in time with your markers. And this is just one. I think I've already ordered another one of these. If I haven't, I'll definitely need to do so. But you can see we still got color there, so we can still use that. And I believe we're going to be using this end anyway. So let's see. Maybe not. That's a little bit. Let's just go in and see what we got to start with. Let's start out with the light Cajun Craze. And I'm going to come in just around the bottom of him. Something like that, and maybe a little bit on this feather, and maybe a little bit right here. And I might come back with that darker one if I dare try to use it. Like I said, this will happen to your markers. What has happened, this has gotten broke. See where it's broke right there? It's missing a whole chunk out of the marker. And I don't know if I dropped it. I'm sure there was something on my part that I did. So now this marker does not want to adhere down into that barrel. But you know what? I'm going to make it work. So I'm going to come up using that darker Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to work some color down at the bottom, because this is where you definitely want your darker color. And you notice I'm just scribbling color to try to make it look like feathers. I'm not too sure that that one's going to be any more good, but that's okay. I'm going to come back in with the lighter, and let's use the brush tip this time and see if we can do a little bit of blending. So I'm just blending that dark into the lighter. Again, this is Cajun Craze. Something like that. And then I'm going to come back in with my dark pumpkin pie, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to color right over top of that other color, just to give myself a good blend. Then I'm going to take my light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to come back and blend that up. And you see how this end is not good on that one. I think I just need to replace a lot of my markers. But we're going to just blend this now all together using the light pumpkin pie. And we're going to come back with the darker pumpkin pie right up underneath his cone or his little neck feathers, whatever you want to call them. Something like that. And then I'm going to come back with that light. And I'm going to blend that up into the light. And this is how I get that effect from the light to the dark. Just keep blending. Blend those colors together really well. Now, if you are working on a surface that you can damage underneath, I'm actually working on a surface that is glass underneath, but the back of this will bleed through, and this is the thick cardstock. So, you know, be aware of that when you are doing this. And if you have a little craft mat or something that you can put under your surface so you don't get ink on your desk, that is a wonderful thing to do. All right, I'm going to come in now with my real red, and I'm going to start off with my dark. And I am just going to go around his cone, or his little, let's just call them neck feathers. I don't know what they're called. Well, we're going to go all the way up. This is his cone. And we're going to come up the side here and out there. And then I'm going to come back with the light real red. And I'm just going to scribble in some color. I love using my Stampin' Blends. They make you feel like an artist because they are just that cool. Alright, I went up underneath there, but I'm going to go back with the dark red because I want this piece right up under there, his little googly goggly, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I don't know. I've never had chickens. I've lived in the country and I've had gardens and all kinds of stuff like that. But when it comes to knowing my chickens, I'm probably not quite as adept to what color they need to be. I'm going to do across his eyes that color. Then I'm going to come back in with that dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to do his beak. Oh, so cute. Now for his tail feathers, I want to do a combination of my dark Cajun Craze just putting down a little bit of color there. I'm sure this one's not going to last too long because of the fact that it is, let's see, maybe if I can push that up and then press that down. Let's see how that will work. It's a little bit better. Then I'm going to take my light roll red and I'm going to come back in just a little bit every here and there. And then I'm going to take my dark pumpkin pie and I'm going to kind of blend this all together. And do not be afraid to blend your colors. You have nothing to lose. Alright, while I got the pumpkin pie out, I'm going to do his feet. He got big old feet. And I think we have our little Hey Chuck all done. So I need to grab my Hey Chuck dies. So here we go. And we need the big boy to cut him out. And there is our die right there. So I'm going to line him up. Try to get him lined as perfectly lined as you possibly can. Something like that. And I'm going to put down a piece of my Post-it tape on both sides, and I'm going to run him through my die cut machine. So bring this up. Started to try my small one, but I don't know. Y'all know how much I love my big one, and it never fails me. So that's why I love it so much. So lay that in there like that and just crank it through. And we can take that out in our plates. We don't have a whole lot of die cutting to do with this particular card because I think this is the only thing that was time consuming, was our actually coloring our little chicken or rooster, pardon me, and I'm sure he would not like being called a chicken. But anyway, there is our rooster. And isn't he cute? I love the way he turned out. I think he's adorable. So now we're ready to go ahead and put our card together. So I'm going to grab a piece of the Orchid Oasis, I think. You can see this one's a little bit lighter than this one. I should have inked a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We're going to pop him up on some dimensionals. So before I go any further, let me grab, and I had a new pack just a moment ago. Oh, here they are. I've got them covered up with markers. I knew I pulled out a new pack a while ago, and my top's come off of my ink again, so I'm going to try pulling that up and then pop that down onto there. Yep. And then put that back in like that. What I might do is put a piece of packaging tape around that just to kind of hold it until I order me a new one, because I hate that. And I always feel like I'm getting ink on my fingers when I have a marker that's actually broke like that. But you know, it happens. These markers do dry out. They're not refillable. So when they go bad, you have to just buy a new one. And I've had to replace several of mine because I use them all the time. And because I love them so much, that's why they're well used. So, and that doesn't make me sad, because, you know, when you love something and you use it all up and you have to get some more. So it's that simple, even with your markers. All right, I'm going to take a piece of the Orchid Oasis, if I can find some that looks pretty. This is the Orchid Oasis right here. That's actually Starry Sky. This is Orchid Oasis. Yeah, this one is Orchid Oasis. Which one did I use on there? Huh, I think I used Starry Sky. It doesn't really matter, because, you know, it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a scrap of the Orchid Oasis. And let's see if this scrap will work. It will. We just got to cut it down a little bit. So we're going to need this piece to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So real simple measurements. So 3 1/4. That is already 3 1/4. So we only have to cut it this way. So 4 1/4. And see, that was a scrap, and now that's the only thing I'm wasting off of that scrap. That's why I always go to my scrap bins before I delve into anything else. And I think I want this to go like that. All right, so I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal. Y'all do know I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. But I got it. So we're going to go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal around this. And then we're going to put this down, I think like that. All right, so I'm going to gauge my borders and get that down. That looks really good, so I'm going to press it. And I forgot to put my ribbon around it. Let's see if we can get it off. Probably not, since we pressed it. Nope, I think I got it. Forgot to do my ribbon. Bad me. All right, so I did pick up some of that glue, but that's okay. We're going to take a piece of this Orchid Oasis, and we're going to put an end of it right about here. I need a little bit more Stampin' Seal there. So I'm going to lay that in it right about there, and then I'm going to bring it around to the other side, just like that, and then bring it around to the back. and adhere it down. So having that Stampin' Seal on the back really does work because it allows you, and I'm looking for scissors now, y'all. Like I said, my desk is a mess because I'd been crafting earlier and I had a lot of different things pulled out because I've been kind of brainstorming some stuff, and that's what happens when I do that. I always make a mess. But you know what? It's okay. It's all right. It's all good. We're having fun. So I'm going to put that down right about there. Now I'm going to give it a press again. Hope it adheres. 9 times out of 10, it adheres beautifully. So now we can put our little hey Chuck right here. I'm going to tie a bow over there on that side after I get him adhered down. And we're going to do a little banner for the top. Come on. Get all of those little... You can usually tell if they're shiny. That means that the sticky side has been exposed. So I'm going to stick him right about here. I'm letting him hang off just a little bit. It doesn't matter because this piece is going to be put on another piece, and I think it's going to be fine like that. So now I want to take enough of my ribbon and I want to tie a little tiny bow. So I'm just going to make a very makeshift little tiny bow. Oops. This ribbon is very easily, it's slippery. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's hard to make a little bow, but once you get your loops, then you can pull them to make them exactly what you want, and then tighten them down, pull them, tighten, and pull really tight. Now I can snip this off. Maybe here and here. And now this will adhere right there. And y'all know what I like to use for my bows. I love my my glue dots. The mini glue dots are my favorite, even for a small bow like this. So I'm going to grab those. And roll it up like so. And I'm going to stick that right where I want that bow to be. And then I'm going to lay that ribbon or that bow, the knot right into that glue dot. And there is my bow. So now what we got left to do is we need to do the little banner to go up on the top. So I'm going to take another piece of my Orchid Oasis. I need to get another scrap. Look, that's lifting right there. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to just squirt a little tiny bit of glue up underneath there and press it. And any place that looks like it might lift, just press it just like that. And now we need our little banner. So another piece of Orchid Oasis. And please excuse Bella, she is snoring up a storm. Again, there's another scrap that will work perfect for what I want it for. So I want this to be a little more narrow than what it is. This looks like about 1.25 inches. So no, it's more like 1.5 inches. So I want to cut that down to 1 inch. So that gives me my 1 inch piece, and I only think I need it to be about 3 inches. I think 3 inches will be good, and that'll give me room enough to stamp my sentiment and cut my little banner on the end. So I'm gonna stamp over to this side. And do I want to do a birthday again? Let's see. It's your birthday. I love that. I love it. How about you got something to crow about? I'm gonna do that one because it's fun. You got something to crow about. And then we can put happy birthday inside. So we'll put this right here. And I'm going to stamp this in the Versamark because I want something more bolder for this to stand out on that black, that dark Orchid Oasis. So I'm just going to pull this ink in. And just so you know, Stampin' Up! Does not carry the VersaFine. They carry the Versamark and they carry the Memento, but not the VersaFine. So this is just something out of my own stash. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to put that back there. I am going to clean this stamp block off because it is a pigment ink and it will stain my stamp. So I'm going to get that off really quick. I'm a little more persnickety about that type of ink than I am a water-based ink. So I'm going to squirt it with a little bit of Stampin' Mist. I put some on here earlier, but I've been using this all day today. I might need to order some more Stampin' Mist. It usually will squirt out pretty good. I have to just hold it at an angle, so I can't hold it down and do that. So just bear with me. And see, that gives my stamp a nice little soak. And look how nice and clean. Then I can come over on the dry side and clean and dry it up. And I've got a beautiful stamp. I'm going to go ahead while I'm in here. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Perfect. And I got a couple of other ones that I'm going to go ahead and clean while I'm cleaning. So just pardon me. And those are done. All right, I'm going to set that down there because I'm pretty sure I might need it again. So there is that part of our card. Now we're going to use this as our banner across the top. And I can see I need to trim this just a hair more. So let me grab my trimmer. And I'm going to cut off about a 1/2 inch. Maybe 3/4, no, I want about a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to slice that off. And then I'm going to use my paper snips and I'm going to make my own little banner. I think I'm going to cut that off a little bit more too, like that. And then I'm going to make the banner by cutting in the middle. And then I'm going to cut from corner to corner. And then from this corner to the middle. Just like that. So now we have a beautiful little banner. And we are ready to put this down right there. And see what I mean? We are mimicking the same thing we had here. I think, yeah, identical. Beautiful. We're going to glue this down, straight down, so I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal. Like so. And I'm going to bring that over to go right to the edge of that white, so you're not seeing the white. And I'm going to use my other finger to hold that in place. I'm going to look at it and make sure I don't want it to come down some, and I think I do. I want it to come down just a little bit. So again, I'm going to come down to about here, hold it, put that there, and press. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Okay, so now all we need to do is find out how we're going to put this on our card. So let's grab a white card base, and I am going to cut this in half. On the 11-inch side, I'm going to line it up to 5.5. That's half of 11, and give it a slice. And then I'm going to pull out. I can score it on that, but I've gotten where I really enjoy using my scoring tool. So I'm going to bring out my Simply Scored scoring tool, and I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. and 2 1/8. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold that over, and then this piece is going to get folded back. Rather than folded out, it's folding in. So that's the only thing you have to remember with the top, with the front of this card. The 2.5 inch side goes in rather than out. And just remember, because you got to form that mountain right there on the front of it. So once you get this folded or get it done, you just want to take your bone folder and give it a good crease, both of these score lines. Crucial that you have it scored really nice and crisp. Okay, so now that we got that, we need to decide what kind of designer series paper we're going to put on our pieces here. Oh, this might be pretty. That would be different. What's on the back? Oh, I like that too. This would definitely be different. It would stand out. I think I'm going to go with that pattern. It looks like a crushed curry in white, which will be fine with this. I think this will not take away from what we got on the front. In fact, anything, I think it will add to it. So let's go ahead and cut us a panel, 1 7/8. Or do we need 2? Let's do 1 7/8. Just like that, and then we're going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/4, and we need 2 of them. So 5 1/4, slide that up to 5 1/4, and slice it again. That's a scrap, or you can hang on to it. And now we can go ahead and put these pieces down. Before we put these pieces down, let's do our mechanism. So we're going to do a piece of white, and I'm going to use this piece right here, and we're going to need 1/2 inch by 2. And then what I like to do is just hold those together, and those look pretty good. Alright, so we're going to score both of these at 1 1/4. So line it up at 1 1/4, get your cut blade out of the way, and give that a good score. And then do the next one the same way, 1 1/4. Oops. And score. And now we can put put these down before we do anything else. So I'm going to fold that together. I want to make sure I give it a good crease. You always want to crease your cardstock. Anytime you do a fold, I don't care how small it is, you always want to reinforce that. So what we're going to do, these are going to go on our peak. Here. And here. What I like to do when I put it down is like make sure I adhere it right here. You don't want it to impede that score line. So if you do this, and this is the tab you're going to put your glue on, you don't have to worry about impeding the score line at all. So I'm going to put some glue right there, and I'm going to come about halfway, and I'm just eyeballing, and I'm going to put that piece there. Then I'll take the other piece and put glue on it. And I'm going to hold this piece and match it up to that one on the other side. Just like that. Now do you see what we have when we open that? We have a nice place to position our little hedgehog. Isn't that cute? So cute. But now what we can do is we can bring these pieces under and adhere them down, and they're going to go right in the middle like that. So let's go ahead and put some glue on this and lay that underneath that mechanism. Bring it up and press it down. I'm going to do the same thing for this one, just adding glue. Oops. I get a little overzealous every now and then, especially when I'm excited about a card, and I've been very excited about this one. Alright, so we're going to put that down, sort of monitoring our borders, trying to make sure we get everything lined up. Oh, so pretty. Look at those colors. I love it. So now we've got that much done, we're ready to put our little piece on here. And look how cute that's going to be. I love those colors together. It's very colorful, it's bright. So I'm going to put glue right here and here. And now all we have to do is set this on top. Something like this. Give it a good press, make sure that gets glued down good. And then once you're satisfied with it, there's your piece. And it's adhered under here with that little strip on both sides, so it's not going to go anywhere. Isn't that wonderful? Now we're ready to embark on the inside. So we can decide if we want to use that same paper. What if we turned it over and put a piece of this inside? That's cute. The florals, and it's very pretty and it matches. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a piece of this that's 4 by 5 1/4. So just line this up in your trimmer to 4. Maybe I want to do 3 3/4. Yeah, let's do 3 3/4 by 5. That way we can mat it. And I'm thinking, why not mat this on a piece of the crushed curry? Wouldn't that be cute? So cute. So let me grab a crushed curry. And of course I'm going into my scraps first to see if I have a crushed curry. And I do. I got lots of crushed curry. So we know this piece needs to be cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. Very simple measurements, and all of this will be on the blog, so don't worry about having to get measurements right now. Everything will be laid out for you. So that's 4 by 5 1/4. And now we can just lay this down on here like that, and then this piece can go in like this, because it's going to come over more to the side. Let's just go ahead and put it together, and then we'll see how what we want to put to bump up our little I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. I think I went over the edge somewhere here. Okay, now we can go ahead and center this in between the score lines and give it a press. And now this is ready to adhere inside our card, and for that one, because this is thicker, I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue. Feels like I got a clogged tip, and let's see if we can unclog it a little bit. That should work. So let's, come on. come on. Oh, it's not wanting to work. Let's see if it needs burping. Sometimes you have to burp the baby. Let's see if that makes a difference. Sometimes that can make all the difference in the world. Well, it doesn't appear to want to play. I probably got a clog in the tip that I'll need to clean out. So for right now, let me just do this. And then if it's a pattern paper, make sure you pay attention to your direction of your paper. Line that up in there just like so. And now all we have to do is decide what we want to stop. And I am thinking, I'm thinking maybe a little circle. So I'm going to look at what I have. You know what would be cute? Just a little stopper like this. Let's see what it would look like if we popped one out of this. Let's see if we can just get the crushed curry. Actually, I need something thicker. So let's see. Let me grab another piece of crushed curry. And I'm gonna pop that out. I think that'd be cute just sitting there. We'll pop it up on a couple dimensionals. And you know, you don't always have to have a stopper that is so very decorative. You can just put a little tap of something like this in and keep it simple. And it makes it just as beautiful. And it gives you a mechanism that will work, and you've got more space in here now. So I want it to go about to here. What you want to do is you want to hold your card up and see where you want your piece to be, like that. And then once you find where you want that piece to be, then you can sit this down, something like that. And then if it's not quite where you want it, take it up and rearrange it. But you get the general idea. And now you have a little stopper like that. And when you close the card, you've got a beautiful card. Now over here we could put a place for a sentiment. We could put another piece of the crushed curry right there, which I think would be beautiful. So I'm going to grab another scrap. And I'm going to, oh, I got two of them. I told you I had lots of scraps of crushed curry. So I'm going to put that little punch back over here. And I want to cut off a piece that is about 2 inches by 5 1/4, or maybe 5. Yeah, let's just do 5. That's what our designer series paper is. It's 5. So then we have this little piece that we can pop in here like that. You can bring it all the way over to the edge if you want to. And then we have a place where we can put a message. And if you want to, you can decorate over here too. Totally up to you. I think it'd be really cute if you use the crushed curry all the way through. Remember, it is going to make the card very heavy though. So let's go ahead and find something to stamp on here. And y'all know I love that new set. Let's see. I wonder if this would fit on there. This is the one that says, this one is Hope You Know, and I love both of these. You Are the Sunshine. I think that one's going to be too wide. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, just a little bit. Just Saying Thank You. I love this one. And what do we put on the front? It's a happy birthday card though, isn't it? No, you got something to crow about. So we could use any sentiment. So I'm gonna do this up to the top just a little bit, and that'll leave a place to sign. And we're gonna stamp this again in the VersaFine ink. Look what I did. I dropped my ink pad upside down on my desk. Thank goodness I've got a wipe, because now I can easily wipe this away. No harm done. And I'm going to take that paper towel that I wiped earlier, and I'm just going to wipe that up so I don't get it on my cardstock. I am so sorry that I'm coughing all the time. It's just I constantly have something going on in my chest, and it's just really kind of bothersome. Okay, so right about here. Oh, I love that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I have, one of my subscribers was asking the other day about a stamp set that had sentiments in it that you could put inside the card. And this one would be so much fun. May you find the peace in the days that come and the loving thoughts that surround you now. I mean, this is really a nice one, especially for friendship cards or thinking of you or get well, even a sympathy card. All of these would be perfect. So let me clean off this stamp really quick. I know this has turned into quite a long video, but this is just not a card that you can put together, especially when I start from scratch and work my way out. So that's why this one has been a little bit longer. I'm going to glue this in just using some liquid glue. So I'm going to just put some glue across this whole piece, up the side, something like that, and then I'm going to turn it around because I want to make sure that I'm covering the designer series paper so it just looks like it's sitting up like that. And there is our card, and I love this. I think it turned out absolutely stinking cute. You've got this little, you know, what else would be cute there would be like a button. You could put a button on it. I had buttons. You know what we can do? We could put a little gem. I don't like the colors of those. I'm not finding anything that really sends me that I like a lot. These brush metallic adhesives, and I don't know if these are still in the catalog or not. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use one of these just to put a little something there. See if I can get it turned around. Just right in the middle of that to give it a little, oh so cute. Isn't that cute? You could use a sequin or any type of little dot that you would want to. But there's our card. What do y'all think? I think it turned out absolutely precious when you mail it. It does have a little bit of bulk to it because it is a little thicker. That's why I said if you put more paper in here, I think you could get away with just some designer series paper, but I don't think I would do any embossing. I would just put designer series paper in there, not even cardstock. But there is our cute little card. It sits beautifully. Our little panel is working wonderful. You don't have to worry about it falling off. It's very well attached. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior and our Lord Jesus. I love you guys so much, and until next time, bye-bye.